Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And peace and mercy to the hopeful elect, the 144,000 men that are doing this work in sincerity and in truth around the four corners of the earth. And much love to the 1/3 of you, innumerable multitude out there. To you all, I say Shalom. I'm the brother Yeshaya, and I pray, Lord willing, that this lesson is edifying through the Spirit. All right, so I was meditating on this. I saw this article, and this is what inspired me to do it on is this article. However, the brother Baar in the camp, he connected some dots for me earlier through the Spirit. When he said we was in our chat, and Gabar sent something about basically the gas rates and the oil rates and the gas availability down here in South Florida, and how like people been like just scrambling for gas, and it has a lot of places been covering the pumps and things like that. And so Bar put some things about Venezuela up, and I'm like, damn, like I haven't thought about this in a while. So the connection was made. So through the Spirit, I was like, let me do a lesson on it. So first I got this article, and I'm gonna get some precepts. This is from Politico. It says U.S. in escalation conducts strike on drug vessel near Venezuela. The move comes as the Trump administration increases the military's presence in the region. All right, and so now in Apostle Tahar, we had just got out of camp, I think, and Apostle Tahar did a lesson on Venezuela, basically, in the United States going at it, right? And so it says the military conducted an airstrike against a suspected drug vessel leaving Venezuela. President Donald Trump said Tuesday, a sign of the administration's increasing willingness to use the military in its fight against drug traffickers. We just over the last few minutes shot out at a drug-carrying boat, Trump said at a White House press conference. These came out of Venezuela. We took it out. All right. And I'm going to read this next part, and then I'm going to get my precepts. This devil, man, the cruel Lord. It says in a follow-up post on Truth Social, Trump said that the strike was conducted against the Venezuelan Tren de Aragua group in international waters, killing 11 suspected traffickers. Please let this serve as a notice to anybody even thinking about bringing drugs into the United States of America. Beware, Trump wrote, attaching a video that appeared to show military footage of the strike. All right, so first off, this is a flag. Let me say that. You talking about anybody bringing? They know they're the ones bringing it in. They're the ones. The United States government. They show you this on multiple movies. We know this, right? The government's look, American Gangster with Frank Lucas. Right, a lot of these are based on real stories. They were using the American the caskets to bring the drugs in, right? Then they showed you on Snowfall that the CIA was behind it. So this is like talking about beware. They're the ones behind it, but we Baar was on point, so we started attaching bigger purposes to it. So the first thing is it that they just want to strike them down because they have drugs? They don't care about that, right? This is the drug capital of the world. They don't care about that. Now, what could be happening is that war is on a horizon. War is on the horizon. So what do you do when war is on the horizon? In order to fuel your vehicles, you need something very important. You need coal, oil, and gas. Okay? Coal, oil, and gas, predominantly oil. Like when you have crude oil, that's how you're able to get a lot of different things like gasoline. Okay, so oil is very important. We always know these countries fight over oil. We know that all too well, right? When they have these wars in these different countries, it's a fight for oil. But now when you're getting ready for war, you need to make sure that you have enough supply to be able to fight against your opponents. All right, so, when we were connecting these dots and Bar said that, I was like, shit. You know what I'm saying? This is profound, man. Right? But let me get this scripture, and this is how you know prophecy is real, right? This is Deuteronomy 33 and 24. It says, and of Asher he said, Let Asher be blessed with children. Let him be acceptable to his brethren, and let him dip his foot in oil. All right, so when you understand the nations, all right, the tribe of Asher, those are those are your so-called Brazilians, so-called Venezuelans, so-called Colombians. Those are your Asherites, and the word Asher means to be happy, right? That's what it means to be happy. Okay, and that word is ashar in the Hebrew. Okay, and man, I'll say it's nothing. You want to feel like good, like of course, all the tribes of the brothers are gonna make you feel good, but man, being around an Asherite, it's like your whole mood is uplifted. Being around brothers that's Asherites, and hey, man, hey, I love me an Asherite woman too. I'm gonna leave it at that. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, Asher will make you feel good. So, and it says let Asher be blessed with children. So, a lot of Colombians, a lot of Venezuelans, a lot of Brazilians, they have a lot of plethora of children as well. All right. It says let him be acceptable to his brethren, and let him dip his foot in oil. So, what does let him dip his foot in oil mean? Okay, this is because when you go into the history on it, Venezuela had, let me get the exact terminology, but we know the apostles have been taught us, and we've been talking about this for years, but this is how you know they're the tribe of Asher according to prophecy. All right, it says Venezuela holds the world's largest proven crude oil reserves, primarily heavy crude from the Orinoco Belt. Okay, so it says let them dip their foot in oil because they have the world's largest proven crude oil reserves. So whoever that is, they're the tribe of Asher. Okay? And that is going to be the Venezuelans. So that's how you know let him dip his foot in oil, because his land is full with the largest oil reserves in the world. That's a cold hard cut to let you know that the Asherites are the so-called Venezuelans, Colombians, and Brazilians, man. This is how you know. And there are other, some of the other, I believe, I'm trying to think of Ecuador as Asher. I think Ecuador is Asher too. But there are other countries that are surrounded. Chile are Asherites, So just say, but trying to cover the bases there on that one. Chileans, you know what I'm saying? But that's the tribe of Asher, man. All right? They dip their foot in oil. Okay, and Esau wants that oil. Okay, Esau wants to take what they have. Esau wants to create his plan and do his new world order. All right, this is Joel 3:9. It says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles: Prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong." Right. So Venezuela is not a military. Okay. Let me say that again. Venezuela is not a military superpower. Okay, it says, I looked it up. What was the rank of Venezuelan army? It says Venezuela is ranked 50th in overall military power out of 160 nations by global firepower in 2025, placing it 7th among the Latin American countries. Okay, so also looked up. It says, is the Venezuelan army strong? Now, we can't go based off estimations of what Esau believes is strong and AI, but at the end of the day, it's something to consider. They're going based off of stats, possibly the amount of weapons, training, things like that. I'm sure all of that is considered a factor. But it says, no, Venezuela does not have a strong military by international standards, though it is the 4th largest in Latin America, and its modernized equipment with Russian imports. Uh-oh. So now, when I was like, man, this is attached as another part. So now you got this country they're getting Russian imports. So they're getting Russian weaponry. So now this is where 38, right? I'm not going to really go into it because I'm trying to make this rather quick, y'all. I had a busy day today, and I wanted to get a lesson in before I go upstairs. But let me see here. Ezekiel 38. I just want to get like one or two verses off of there. Ezekiel 38 and verse 4. It says, even though this Asher isn't necessarily one of the nations listed, I thought it was spiritual. It says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring forth all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmets. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So, of course, it's talking about like modern day Iran, Ethiopia, Libya. They got these different nations that they're, wanting to defend. But Asher is necessarily a tribe of Israel. But if they getting Russian imports, Russia could be backing them, which is furthermore enticing Russia to go against the United States. So, and that's another reason. They could be knowing that they're tied with Russia, so they're like, let's take what they got too. That's another reason. So, but that's just inciting a riot, wars and rumors of wars, and we're seeing it all too clearly, man. And so I did want to look up what does the name Venezuela mean. So the name Venezuela comes from none other than the devil, the Edomite Italian navigator Amerigo Vespucci. It says in 1499, because the stilt houses of the indigenous people in Lake Maracaibo area reminded him of Venice, Italy. The diminutive suffix zuela and the name also serves as a diminutive in Spanish, meaning like little. So little Venice. He's saying that's little Venice. That's where you get the name Venezuela from. Okay, but then I wanted to go further. It says the Indo-European root ven or ven, meaning to strive, wish, or love. So I was like, that was spiritual because they're called the tribe of Asher, right? Meaning to be happy. And it says it also means to love, man. You see, I was like, damn, you can't get around that either. They're very loving people, man. See here, I had something else I wanted to get. I'm going to go back to, first of all, it says, let the weak say I'm strong. So even if they got a few missiles, they can shoot some off in America. Let the weak say I'm strong. Thermonuclear power gives weaker people. This is like a skinny guy, a skinny, 15-year-old with a goddamn bazooka. He feeling mighty, right? But going back to Deuteronomy 33 and 25, it says, thy shoes shall be iron and brass, and as thy days, so shall thy strength be. All right. So also, when you go into the word Brazil, the word Brazil comes from a Hebrew word, barazal, which means iron. So they have a lot of minerals and resources of iron and brass over there. All right. But it says, and as thy days, so shall thy strength be. They're very strong people. And what's the odds? Barazal, Brazil, iron. So that's to let you know that that's another indicator for the tribe of Asher. Heavy amounts of... let's look that up real quick. Yeah, that's a good one. Brazil is number 2. You see that? So Australia is number 1. Let's see. It says Australia is number 1, but Brazil is number 2. Let me see. So that let you know too. They got iron, they got brass, things like that, man. So it's spiritual. So like, I was just looking something up real quick. All right, let me go back and get these last few ones here. Yeah, so Isaiah 9 and verse 5. For every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. You see, so this next war that's coming is going to be a burning and a fuel of fire. America's going to go down, and so they're basically getting the fight started. Shooting up, they're saying it's a drug vessel. They don't care about that, man, but they do care about uh, stealing oil. You know, it says the thief cometh not but to steal and to kill. Right? So you think Esau Edom is just not going to go and take whatever he wants and call it a drug ship? You see what I'm saying? Esau's a devil, man. You know, the so-called white nation are going to show the world that they're the devils. That's why the world is going to. It's a reason the Heavenly Father is having put it on their spirits to everybody to shoot missiles on this devil, man. You know, but the time has come for the Edomites to fall, and Yahweh Shema Shah is showing the world the truth in these wars, these different calamities, these skirmishes. They're all coming close to home, and war is going. This thing is going to keep kicking up more and more and more. And World War III is prophesied in the Bible, Revelation 11 and 14, if I'm not mistaken. It says, the second woe is past, but the third woe cometh quickly. That's speaking about the Third World War, and what's about to happen, man. It's about to get nasty and grisly out here, man. And we're thankful to Yahweh Shema Shah for having mercy on us and showing us and helping us understand these things, man. Even when your common everyday people don't care or think, you know. So, hey, man, I'm going to wrap it up with that. I pray, Lord willing, that this lesson was edifying. I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And peace and mercy to the elect. Until next time, Shalom.